Hello and welcome back to Spotlight Indie. Today we're doing something a little bit different, a little bit unusual for us in that we're turning the spotlight on Spotlight Indie. We're going to be talking about ourselves a little bit, which as British people is very unusual for us and very uncomfortable. So please bear with us as we do that. But as you should well know, we've got an event coming up next week, the 23rd of Shrewsbury, the Flaxmill Maltings, and it's going to be amazing. So we wanted to make sure you knew how amazing it was going to be. So we have badgered our benevolent overlord into joining me today this way. H.L. Tinsley, the amazing, the wonderful. Hi, Holly, how are you doing?
I am fine, thank you, Alex. I am mentally preparing to talk about myself.
Excellent. Yeah, we definitely need to. Yeah, definitely need to do that.
I'm not at all.
And yourself, and we're going to big up some other people as well.
We are, yes. More so other people, yes.
Other people as well. So it is sort of exactly. Cool. So yeah, as a quick sort of intro, we've got this. We did an event way back in 2024, I believe it was. It's all in the murky past for me now, which was at Shrewsbury. It was in the Nerdy Cafe, and it was really great. It was really lovely. You know, I was there. I sort of did a couple of panels with Joel as well, and this one's going to be even bigger. And I think hopefully this one has been mildly less stressful in that the first event, I think you threw it together in like 3 months or something, almost on a whim. And it came together really well and it was super lovely. But this one's had a bit more of a run up to it. And we've got a bigger team now, so yeah, I think it's going to be even bigger and even better. Because we're going to be in the Flaxmill Maltings, which is a big English heritage site, which I was a bit surprised the other day. I shouldn't have been, but I was looking at the English Heritage website. I was like, oh, look, that's my face on the English Heritage website. That's Spotlight Indie. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's how you know you've made it, is when you get onto the English Heritage website.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's always been a life goal for me.
Yeah.
In a good way. Right, so let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do across the day. So it's an all-day event and it's unticketed. But what kind of things can people expect if they turn up? Well, when they turn up.
When they turn up. For anyone that's going to come along, I think what's really important is just to know who this event is for, first of all. So I was out in Shrewsbury yesterday. I had some time at the library. We had a stand there and I met some lovely people. And one of the questions that I got asked quite a lot was, is this an event just about the authors? So we just want to be really, really clear that this is for readers and for writers. So there's going to be something for everybody. So on the writers' side, we've got some amazing speakers coming in. We're going to be doing panels looking at all sorts of things from writing craft to publishing routes to how to build your audience. There's also going to be some drop-in sessions where you can come and sit around a table. You can have a tea and coffee with a couple of our speakers. You can chat to them about what they're doing. And we've also got things like entertainment as well. So if you're somebody who's not that keen on writing, but you're really keen on reading, you can come along and see some indie books being interpreted into live performances. You can come and have a look at our traders market. So we've got arts, we've got books, we've got a bakery, we've got crafts. So in answer to the question, is it for readers or is it for writers? It is really for both. And there is going to be something there for every sort of writer, whether you are brand new to it, whether you have already published and are looking to connect with other people in the indie sphere. So it's a lot going on is the answer to that question, Alex.
Yeah, there's so much going on. I mean, you know, we've obviously been involved a little bit in what we're doing. And yeah, it's always just looking, you shared the floor plan recently, and that was also really brings home as like, oh, this is for the traders, that's for the entertainment part, here's for the chats, and there's so much going on. And yeah, it's good that you mentioned, I think, as well, the range of people who will be attending if you're an aspiring author or you have already published something, because there were people that I was talking to who weren't sure whether they wanted to come as a sort of trader and have a little table selling their self-published books, but they have now decided that actually they'd rather and come along to the panels which we've got. So I think it's going to be a really good mixing pot for everybody, just to meet new authors and new author friends as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we've got some panels on that are going to be across the day. So it's from 9:45 to 5:45. It's going to be when I think the panels are on.
Yep.
So we've got loads of stuff, as you've already sort of touched on. We've got, I like the name of one of them, I just want to highlight, because we've got cupcakes, conflicts, and character arcs on there, which is going to be about comfort and conflict and can it coexist and stuff like that. But also we've got Gone Without a Trace Bakery on the trading tables. So I'm just saying that at that point you can go and buy a cupcake and come to the cupcake panel with a cupcake in hand.
Yeah, so, it'd be like a weird cupcake inception going on.
Exactly, very meta, but very, very welcome. So you also mentioned that there's going to be some entertainment there. So we've got Spellbound Entertainment, who are a live immersive entertainment company. So they do a lot of events you were saying about. Yeah, they do a lot of events where it's kind of like theatre, but almost more interactive and more involving the audience and things like that. So they're going to be there doing extracts and things, as I understand it.
Yes, so they're going to be doing a couple of different spots throughout the day. They're going to be doing some interpretations of some of our speakers' work, bringing them to life. They're also going to be doing I believe they're going to be doing a dance number as well, which is quite exciting. They are going to be walking around the venue. They are also very kindly doing author headshots. So if you are a writer and you want to get yourself a new headshot, you can come down and get that done while you're at the event. There is an amazing backdrop. So our venue is just this gorgeous, huge industrial building. And there's so many good photo opportunities. So you can come down and you can get some of those done, and it will cost you absolutely nothing.
I think in the same way as I'm sure a lot of our speakers are, my author photo is quite aged now. So, maybe I'll get myself a new author picture. Make sure I use the L'Oreal that morning. And we've got a couple of drop-in sessions as well. So rather than it being a full-on panel, as you're saying, you come and sit down with a couple of other speakers and just kind of pick their brains a little bit. So we've got an audiobook production and planning, and then also small presses and having experience being published by them. So I feel like we've covered sort of the kind of panel-y type things that you can do as well. And we've got a little bit of the Spellbound things as well there. So we also have this sort of, I think it's going to be quite a decent chunk of the room is going to be people who've got things that you might want to buy. So we've got a large number of our authors and speakers. They're going to have tables as well. So just looking down my list there, we've got Stephen Arian's going to be there. We've got Tim Hardy, obviously he's part of the Spotlight Indie team. Emma L. Adams is going to be there. Dan Hanley. I won't list them all, so apologies to everybody else who I haven't immediately listed there. But we're also going to have other traders there. So we've got a few artists and comic book people like Never City Creations. We've got Sylvaness Arts. And recently Lazy Witch Art, and there was somebody else I was going to mention that I've gone. Traveling Brag as well is going to be there, and we've also got some other merch stuff. So we've got somebody coming along called Midgard Crafting, who do these things. I haven't cracked into it yet, but I saw them recently, and they do these little blind book blind dates. So you got the genre, and it gives a little description, but you don't know what you're going to get. So that's actually a really fun thing to be going on. So I feel like we've covered a lot of it already.
We have. See, this is why it's free, Alex, is because people need to bring their money to spend with all these traders.
Yeah. Well, we're giving you some of the panel titles and some of the people who are going to be there. So you're going to have to come along to find out everything else. Buy a cupcake, come to the cupcake panel. Maybe give Fraser a voucher for ice cream. I'm sure he'd love that.
He would.
Yeah. And then we're going to have a little, I wouldn't say sneak, but we've got somewhere you can kind of sign up to make sure that you're getting information about future things that we've got going on, because one of the things that we've got coming up in the future, which is very exciting, is a new partnership with Stage Door Studios in Shrewsbury. So do you want to just give a little bit of a sneak peek about that?
Sure. So we may have sort of hinted at this in a couple of the videos that we've done recently, but this is something that I've been working on in the background of Spotlight Indie while we prepare for this event for probably the last 6 months or so. So Stage Door Studios is recently opened. They are run by some of the same people who are involved with Spellbound Productions, and they have just acquired the keys to their studio, which is currently being refurbished and built up. It is absolutely amazing space, and what is so incredible about it is that it's not just going to be used for performance arts, it's going to be used for so many different community creative initiatives. So they are partnering up with not just us, but with other creative groups as well. So they have people who are going to be in there offering art therapy. They have people in there who are going to be offering photography and videography, workshops and lessons. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be basically running a series of events through the Stage Door Studios venue. They are going to include things like indie writers retreats, workshops, meet the author experiences. It's going to run throughout the entirety of 2027. We are working on the plan at the moment in terms of scheduling, so we're hoping that we're going to have that released when we do our next online big indie weekend, which will be in September. But what it means is that we are basically becoming part of this incredible community, not just in Shrewsbury, but throughout kind of the entire of the artistic indie community that exists in the UK. We're going to hopefully get lots of people coming down to meet us and to spend some time together. We're going to create work. We're going to translate that work into audio, into drama, into theatre, and it's just going to be a big, lovely circle of lovely, creative love and connection. And we are super, super excited about what will be an incredible journey, I believe. That feels very cliche, but it doesn't make it less true.
I mean, no, exactly. They're cliches for a reason, and it's been an incredible journey thus far. So I can, only assume that it will continue onwards and upwards as it goes. I mean, that sounds great. It's really nice to have a sort of confirmed space or, a dedicated space for these things that you can do. And I think, with things like writers' retreats as well, they're just a nice time for, just being in the same space again, like it's going to be next week, which, you should all come along to. Like it's going to be then. It's just nice to be in the same space with those people who are doing the same thing as you, spending hours in a room just looking at a keyboard, hoping that it sounds good when you get it onto the blank page, and having those people be able to bounce ideas off of it. That's really nice. So I'm excited to see what's happening with that. So I'm sure everybody else will be as well. So you can sign up to, you can sign up to the newsletter on the website as well, but we'll have we'll have links and things at the event as well if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So, we've got loads of great stuff coming up next week and beyond. So,
we do.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be part of Spotlight Indie. I think it's very, it's just great. I mean, it's every time I think about the event next week, I know it's been a lot of work for a lot of people. So we are very grateful, especially at Holly. You've done a lot of work behind the scenes with Jamie doing a lot. You're going to be transporting, looking up logistics and going to visiting the venue and everything. So we're very grateful for that. So, thank you to our benevolent overlord. We are grateful that you are a benevolent one. What powers and dark plans you would have if you went the other way, I don't know. So I'm just grateful that it's being put into the Spotlight Indie. That's all.
Yeah, I will remind you that you said this at about 7 p.m. on Saturday next week.
Yeah, I mean every word. We mean every word.
Yeah, I might not feel quite so benevolent then, but I'm sure I will.
Benevolent at times, overlord. We'll just put that in brackets in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's my new motto.
Good. Yeah, I like that. Okay, well, yeah, that's probably, we don't want to give away too much of the event already. So we've got 6 days from this. We're gonna, this is, you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday is it is there. So, raise a glass to us on Friday night as we're going to be there setting up and doing everything in preparation for Saturday. And then make sure you are there 9:45 sharp to be in, to start viewing panels, to go and support lots of local and lovely indie creatives from all over the show. We're just super excited. Every time I think about it, it's going to be great. Like the Spellbound Entertainment, I think is going to be a really, I don't know, thinking of other sort of conventions and things that I've been to, who else has a rove of traveling bards going around the event and performing pieces from people's works. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
It is. I do have to say though, I don't want to bring the mood down, Alex, but I do have to mention the fact that unfortunately, sadly, some people are not going to be able to make it to the event because they live in other countries, which is very inconvenient. So we have made preparations for those people so that they don't have to sit there crying and just lamenting on Saturday. So do you want to like tell them what we've got for the people that can't make it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the aptly named, given that intro to it, FOMO Party. So that's going to be live on the Four Bidsmen of the Book Apocalypse YouTube channel. Going to be hosted with Charlie Cavendish, and then we've got PL Stewart, Douglas Lumsden, and Anna Rose Reeds, and Thomas Howard Riley going to be there to just keep the energy up. I think that's at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. BST. It's going to be so. 9 p.m. UK time, whatever that means for your particular time
zones.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to keep the energy going, and yeah, just make sure that we remain as inclusive as we always are of everybody, despite the fact we have a very physical central presence on Saturday. It's going to be on the interwebs as well.
Yeah, it'll be great.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah, well, I say I don't want to give away any more than that because you have to come around, come down. You can come down and buy Holly's book. She's going to have some copies of her book, so please do that. Come and support Holly and everybody else as well. But yeah, we've got 6 days left, so I think we're going to go and probably not collapse just yet, but squirrel around and rush around and do a few other last-minute bits. But otherwise, yeah, go check out spotlightindie.co.uk, which is where we can find our stuff, and that's going to have all the event information as well. Or head to English Heritage because apparently we're on there as well, which is great. Yeah, so thank you so much, Holly, for joining me for this quick rundown of the event, so we can get people even more jazzed up than they already are.
Yeah, I'm more jazzed up now, and I was already like maximum hype already.
Good. Just adding an extra whole section to that jazz band where for the soundtrack. I won't put any of that on Spellbound Entertainment. I'm not expecting them to turn up with a jazz quartet or anything like that. I should probably stop talking before I get myself into trouble.
Maybe for 2028, we'll look at getting a jazz band. Yeah,
that sounds good to me. Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you for joining me. And yeah, go to spotlightindie.co.uk. We're going to be there all the time, obviously, and have the details. 23rd of May, Flaxmill Maltings in Shrewsbury. It's a completely free event. We've got all this amazing stuff. And then if you can't make it there, then you can make it to the FOMO Party on YouTube with the Bidsmen of the Book Apocalypse. I'll leave links everywhere links normally go. So yeah, we hope to see you there at everything, and we can just be supportive and we hope to see you there.
See you there.
Thanks.